Sometimes, when we look at people who hold rigid, extreme, or authoritarian beliefs, especially those in the far right, we wonder, how did they become that way? Why do they cling to power, hierarchy, and control so intensely? What if behind that ideology lies something much more human, something that began long before politics in childhood? Many psychologists and psychoanalysts believe that the seeds of authoritarian thinking are planted in the home, not in political books, but in early emotional experiences. A child who grows up under a strict, cold, or frightening father learns early that the world is not safe, that love must be earned through obedience, that showing weakness invites punishment. And if the mother is too afraid to protect or nurture the child, then emotional hunger turns into shame and rage. The child learns that to survive means to suppress emotion, to harden, to control. Later in life, that child becomes an adult who cannot tolerate uncertainty or vulnerability. So they look for systems, ideologies that promise order, strength, and certainty. They may not realize it consciously, but they're searching for protection from the same helplessness they once felt. When pain and fear from childhood go unhealed, they can transform into something that looks powerful on the outside, but is actually driven by terror on the inside. That's why far-right and authoritarian ideologies often repeat the same emotional pattern. The world is dangerous. We must control it. Compassion is weakness. Only the strong survive. In psychoanalytic terms, this is called identification with the aggressor, the process of becoming like the person who once hurt you, so you never have to feel powerless again. Power replaces love, control replaces safety, and ideology replaces emotion. This pattern isn't new. History is full of men whose political cruelty mirrored their childhood wounds. Adolf Hitler was brutally beaten by his father and humiliated as a child. His rage against weakness became a national ideology of dominance. Joseph Stalin was abused and neglected by his father. Growing up distrustful and paranoid, he later demanded absolute obedience from an entire nation. Benito Mussolini faced chaos and rejection in early life, turning his insecurity into violent nationalism. These aren't excuses, they're insights. They remind us that ideology is often emotion in disguise, fear wearing the mask of strength. In modern times, we still see people, sometimes even brilliant, successful ones, who seem drawn to extreme beliefs or authoritarian postures. Often, biographers reveal similar patterns: demanding fathers, emotionally absent mothers, or a childhood where love was conditional. Again, this isn't about labeling individuals. It's about understanding how unhealed childhood pain can evolve into rigid worldviews. Because when we can't control our inner world, we try to control the outer one. Here's the truth. Every one of us carries a small version of this inside. That inner authoritarian, the part. It's the internalized voice of fear saying, don't feel too much. Don't need anyone. Stay in control. Healing begins when we recognize that this voice isn't strength, it's a scar. It's a child's survival mechanism that never grew up. To truly move beyond the shadow of authority, we must learn what authoritarian hearts never could. That safety doesn't come from power, and control isn't the same as love. Healing means allowing emotion to flow again, to grieve what was lost, to feel what was forbidden, and to rediscover empathy. Only then can we build societies and selves not based on domination, but on connection. Maybe the real revolution isn't political at all. Maybe it begins in the quiet space of our own hearts, when we stop repeating the patterns of control that once hurt us, and finally let compassion take their place. Because in the end, every ideology is just a reflection of the inner world. And if we heal the inner tyrant, we just might heal the outer one too.